The tax test is being replaced by a new exam known as the STAAR. Here to tell us more about STAAR is HISD's brand new Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Alicia Thomas. So Dr. Thomas, you arrived here in Houston Independent School District this summer. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you come from.
Oh, thank you so much, Mrs. Harris. I am from Northeast ISD. I was there a number of years, 36 years in Northeast. I had 10 years as the Associate Superintendent for Instruction and Chief Instructional Officer in Northeast. So
excellent, excellent. So you pretty much know this instruction and curriculum thing, especially in this state.
It's been my life. Yes, I'm a Texan.
Well, I tell you, people, when we heard you were coming, people speak very highly of you and your knowledge of what's happening on a state level as far as curriculum. And I know one of our big challenges this year is going to be the STAAR program. So if you had to tell our families and our teachers and our community on what we should be doing to prepare, what's the message that you're putting out?
Well, STAAR is the latest assessment in a long line of assessments from the Texas Education Agency. And we started back in 1982 with TABS and then TEAMS and TOS and TAX and now STAAR. And each one of the assessments has been progressively more rigorous. So each time we have had to step up the level of instruction in our classrooms and the level of expectation of our students. But the real goal of STAAR from the legislative level is that Texas, by the year 2020, that Texas be in the top 10 of states in the percent of students graduating college ready and the percent of students graduating on the advanced diplomas, the recommended diploma or the distinguished diploma.
Okay, okay. And so is that a huge leap to get there by 2020? And how's HISD? Are we on track or on target? Oh, and if not, what do we need to do?
We are like every other district in the state. We need to bump up the rigor of instruction and assessment in our classrooms. One thing that's very important, I think, is that we help our teachers learn to design more rigorous teacher-made assessments because we want to ensure that the grades we're giving our students, that we don't, for instance, say our children are making an A in the course, but then they aren't able to pass the rigor of the statewide assessment. We want to be sure we're aligned so that parents have a good understanding of their students' progress. We don't want any surprises for parents.
And getting our schools kind of all on the same page, it proves difficult, only because we have 200,000 kids. We have 300 buildings, which is probably a little bit bigger than the Northeast District.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So kind of how do you plan on getting your arms around this big HISD, I won't say beast, but lovable teddy bear, how about that? and all that curriculum has, you know, there's a lot of moving parts, and I remember when I first got on the board, Dr. Sinji was our superintendent.
She's a good friend.
Is she a good friend of yours?
She's a good friend of mine. We did our doctoral work together.
Great job in Lubbock.
Yes.
But just how do you get a handle, and what are some kind of your plans for getting us all on the same page and moving towards this 2020 goal?
Well, first of all, I have to say we have an excellent base on which to build. There's some strong work that is happening on the campuses. There's strong leadership work happening on the campuses and here at the central office. We are right now in the process, and I've been working all day today, beginning to form the teams that will realign and review all of our curriculum to make sure it's aligned to the new rubrics for instructional practices and professional expectations. You know, the board's goal is to have an effective teacher in every classroom and an effective leader, an effective principal in every school. And we want to provide the curriculum supports, the resources, the structures, the instructional strategies that will help be the support structures for those teachers and principals. That's the work we have to do this year.
And that's some really roll up your sleeves type work.
Yes, it is.
You look at our data, Dr. Thomas, science, it's going up. Math is going up. Social studies, when you're talking about African American kids, Hispanic kids, white kids, and the achievement gap is decreasing. But when we look at reading, we see a flat line. We see the same 85% that we saw last year and the year before of our kids that are mastering the reading, and at 15% we have to go after them. So I know there's a lot of talk about literacy. And so what are your thoughts on the new literacy program and literacy funding and literacy design, and what we need to be doing in HISD to really start seeing some growth on the reading, and especially reading earlier on grade level?
And I think the board and the superintendent have correctly identified the right goal, and that is literacy: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Those are the skills that undergird all of the core subject areas. They are the framework on which mathematics, science, and social studies are built. So I think the funding that's been put into the literacy initiative, and most recently the wonderful donation that we've had from the Houston Rodeo, also supports that initiative. We are beginning with a contract with NIHouse that will provide training for every kindergarten, first, second, and third grade teacher on good, strong instructional strategies for all students, and how to identify students who are struggling in those literacy skills from the very beginning, from kindergarten, because we can begin to remediate in kindergarten and get kids right up on grade level right then, instead of waiting until they're in 4th and 5th grade when those gaps are really impeding their progress in all the subject areas. So being sure that we have trained all of our teachers so we have a consistency practice in our classrooms across all schools is important. We live in a mobile society. Kids move from campus to campus, they move from district to district. We want to be sure for all of our kids in HISD, even if they're moving, that we have a consistency of program available to them.
Well, Dr. Thomas, our new superintendent of curriculum, welcome to Houston. We know you didn't come for the cool weather. We know you didn't come for the Mexican food, because you were right there in San Antonio.
Right.
So we're also supposing that you came to kind of help us with our curriculum and our academic achievement, and us all to get through this STAAR test as we kind of all pull together and see what we need to do with literacy and all of our curriculum to help our children achieve at higher goals.
That's right, and I'll tell you what I told the principals, and that is, I am a Texan. I believe education is the future of this state, the future of all of our economic future. And so for me, the opportunity to work in Houston ISD with this large group of children, to be able to work here, was irresistible. I am thrilled to be here.
Well, glad you took on the challenge.
Yeah, thank you.